Hey Michael, how are you?
Yeah, good. Yourself?
Good, thank you. I keep hearing people ask me they're very stressed about their tax debt. They're very stressed about debt in general, and they're not quite sure who to turn to and what to do. And the same with us. A lot of business owners and a lot of individuals, your accountancy are absolute go to. And the thing that comes up all the time is why should I talk to you? When I talk to my accountant, I've got this long standing relationship with my accountant. And I'm sure you get that question all the time as well. What makes us so different? And I know what I tell clients, but I thought it would be great to have a chat today about how
Yeah.
we are different, and how specialized we are, and how this is all we do all day, every day.
Yeah, look, really good point. And I think, and it's kind of interesting too. I think one of the simplest things around this is that what we do is not accounting work. It's negotiating with debt collectors. And I think because people see ATO, they go, oh well, it's my accountant that deals with the ATO, so therefore it must be something they do. But look, I've got a law degree and an accounting degree. I've worked in the big fours in both, legal and accounting, and nowhere was there a course teaching me how to deal with debt collectors, nor was there any experience around that. And so, I feel, it's a bit tough actually often expecting your accountant to be able to do this sort of work because it's not what they're trained to do. They're very good at what they do, be it compliance work, tax planning, strategy, all that sort of stuff. But this is really debt work, and it's something that is highly specialised, and it's why we have the business that we have, and why we get around about 35% of our work from the accounting profession because they recognise that it is specialised.
Yeah, I also say it's very specialized work. I don't know how to lodge my own BAS. I don't give any advice around tax compliance. That's not in my skill set. But similar to you, I was a commercial litigator for 16 years and I did a lot of negotiation. And often you say, for want of a better term, it's the devil you know. So we know what the ATO are looking for. We understand that they've got legal practice requirements of what they can take into consideration and what they can't. So when we're writing detailed submissions, that incorporate those legal practice requirements, is absolutely within our skill set, and our knowledge. And because it's all we do, all day, every day, we're just dealing with the ATO debt department. We've become very specialised in what we should do. And I think it's difficult, as you said, to put that pressure on accountants, especially when a client's been non-compliant on and off, or they've got very big debt and it's not what we would necessarily say is an easy run-of-the-mill matter. Accountants have so much else on their plate and such a huge skill set. To then expect them to have the same skill set when this is all we do is actually quite a tall task.
Yeah, and often it actually is very helpful to have somebody fresh come in because, as you well know, that, clients have a lot going on in their lives as well. And they'll often tell us things they may not be comfortable sharing with their accountant who have that long-term relationship. And that's stuff that's often, the stuff that's really helpful in terms of getting the outcomes that we want. But we're finding more and more that we're getting calls, and certainly I am, from accountants saying, look, in the past we were able to deal with this and we were able to get the outcomes that we wanted. But, as we both know, there's the I guess the environment or the landscape has changed significantly from now as it was even pre-COVID, where the ATO was still sort of pushing fairly hard against business to try and get debt in, but now it's to a whole new level, and I think that's driven largely from the fact that prior to COVID there was around $23 billion of uncontested tax debt. Now it's over 60 billion, and so there's a lot of pressure on the commissioner to get that debt in and get taxpayers compliant. And so, almost every day I'm getting a call from an accountant to say, look, we would normally manage this, but unfortunately, we can't because we're not getting those outcomes. And I had exactly that came in last week with a Queensland client who, again, had very good firm, very good accountant. They managed the the client's position with the ATO for around about 18 months and been able to sort of keep the ATO happy, getting some payments through. They'd had some payment plans, but they defaulted. But they'd reached a point with the ATO where they were saying, enough. We now need to get this into a long-term compliant arrangement, and they were putting on parameters around what that would need to look at that the client simply couldn't meet. And so it was looking very much like it was going to go, I guess, pear-shaped, and that things were going to become very difficult for the business and its directors. But good thing is they knew us. We've worked with the firm for many, many years, and they said, look, I think this is one where we need your help. We need your specialist help, as you say. We managed to stop any recovery action, get them into a long-term payment plan, and get around sort of $300,000 or $400,000 in interest. I think it was about $380,000 in interest remitted off a $2 million debt, which made a huge, huge difference to the client and their business.
I often describe it as working parallel. So we work in our lane, helping them manage the debt and get the debt in a compliant position. The accountants, while we're doing that, are working in the compliance lane to get all the lodgements up to date, to make sure everything's lodged on time and all the returns are done. And then sometimes you might even add a broker into the mix if there's finance. But I think it's super important that everyone's working in their lanes to all get to a common goal at the end, not in competition, but absolutely hand in hand.
Yeah.